I spent $9,400 planning a family trip to Japan for Dad's 60th, months of effort, bookings, and careful coordination. Then came the text. We gave your spot to Kevin's girlfriend. She's more fun. No apology, no explanation, just that. I replied, got it. Then I got to work. That night, I canceled everything: flights, hotels, reservations. Non-refundable? Didn't care. I paid for it. I'd end it. Then I changed the locks. The family house was in my name, after all. They'd been living there rent-free for 5 years. Now the rent tripled, the locks were changed, and their cards started failing at the coffee shop, at the grocery store. That was just the beginning. But to understand how I got there, how I went from the good son to pulling the plug on everything, you have to go back. It started with one misguided idea. I wanted to do something nice. Dad was turning 60. He'd always dreamed of seeing cherry blossoms in Kyoto. Mom treated sushi like a sacred ritual. Kevin, my younger brother, claimed he wanted to taste real ramen. So I did what no one thought I would. I paid $9,000 plus on flights, bullet train passes, upgraded hotels, even restaurant reservations. Weekends spent juggling itineraries and booking logistics between work deadlines. I even upgraded their seats to premium economy. I, meanwhile, booked economy and a tiny room in Osaka. Because that's what love is supposed to look like, right? But in my family, love looks more like leverage. Kevin never let me forget who I was in our story. Not the favorite. Not the fun one. Just the one who pays. So when I got that message, we gave your spot to Kevin's girlfriend. She's more fun. I didn't feel surprise. I felt clarity. And clarity, when you've been used for years, is deadly. The manipulation had always been subtle. Kevin's doing his best. It's tough out there for young people. You're lucky to have a good job. Not everyone has that. We're so proud of you. Wish Kevin had your drive. So I helped. Paid Kevin's tuition. Bought his textbooks and a new laptop. Let him move into my house after graduation, rent-free. And when he didn't apply for jobs? When he played video games all day while I worked 12-hour shifts? Mom said, don't pressure him. Dad said, let the boy breathe. It got worse when Madison, Mads, as she insisted, showed up. Moved in after 2 months of dating. No rent, no discussion, just there. Took over my kitchen, my Wi-Fi, my Netflix. Once, I caught her trying on my dress shoes for a TikTok skit. Don't be weird, she said. Kevin laughed. She's hilarious. Man, that word funny would stick with me like a thorn. Still, I said nothing. Still, I paid. Because family. Because what would Dad say if I fought back? Because you make more than enough. When Kevin got fired from the job I helped him land, I covered his car payments. When Madison totaled her car, I co-signed another in my name. And when they surprised me with news they'd be joining the Japan trip, I adjusted the whole itinerary again. Not a word of thanks. Just, we gave your spot to Kevin's girlfriend. She's more fun. It wasn't just disrespect. It was confirmation. I wasn't family, I was funding. A wallet with a pulse. The next morning, Kevin texted, yo, can you wire us some spending money? Mads forgot her card and Dad says the exchange rate's trash. An hour later. Come on, man, don't be salty. This trip's about Dad, not you. I didn't respond. Let them enjoy it. Let them post their filtered reels and pretend everything was perfect. Until day 5. The hotel called. Mr. Adams, the card on file has been declined, and an unauthorized guest was added to the suite. Should we proceed? So that was it. They'd swapped me out for Madison, literally. Used my card, lied to the hotel. And just assumed I'd never notice. That's when it clicked. Not the betrayal, not the money. The assumption that I'd keep taking it. So I logged into my bank account. Flagged the charges. Shut the card down. Then I called the hotel. Canceled the entire reservation. Remove all guests. If anyone tries to argue, notify security. And just like that, their dream vacation became a disaster. They thought I was the doormat. The quiet one. The one who'd always pick up the pieces. They forgot something important. I bought the house. I funded the trip. and I was done being their silent ATM. This time, I didn't raise my voice. I just pulled the plug. And it was the most peaceful silence I'd ever known. "They're not authorized." The manager hesitated. "Sir, they're still in the room." "I'm aware," I said. "They can find their own way home." They did. 3 days later, their taxi pulled up to the house. I was in the kitchen, stirring my coffee, when I heard the car doors slam. Then voices. Panicked, sharp. My mother's shrill tone. Kevin yelling. Madison louder than both. I didn't rush. I took a sip of coffee and waited. Then the banging started. Boom, boom, boom. "Open the door," Kevin's voice. "We know you're in there." I walked to the front, coffee still in hand, and peered through the peephole. There they were, sweaty, red-faced, disheveled. Luggage dumped on the porch. Madison barefoot for some reason. I cracked open the door, just enough. "What happened to our keys?" Kevin demanded. I sipped. "The ones I had rekeyed? They don't work anymore." "Seriously, man?" His voice jumped an octave. "Are you serious right now?" "Dead serious." Mom stepped forward. "We just got off a 14-hour flight. We're exhausted, hungry." "You're trespassing," I said. "This is private property." Madison scoffed. "You're actually locking out your own family?" I looked at her, flat and cold. "You're not my family." That shut her up. Kevin blinked. "Wow, so that's it? We were stranded in Osaka. No money, no hotel, no Wi-Fi. Do you know what that was like?" "Tough," I said. "Imagine being stuck in a foreign country on someone else's dime." "Oh wait, you don't have to." His face turned crimson. "You humiliated us. You canceled everything. We couldn't even get a cab to the airport. They froze the cards." "Yeah," I said, folding my arms. "That tends to happen when you commit credit card fraud." Mom gasped. "Fraud? Don't be dramatic." I held up my phone, a paused screenshot of the hotel's email. "Unauthorized guest. Charges disputed." "Kevin," I said, "did you or did you not add Madison to the suite using my name?" He opened his mouth, closed it, looked at Madison. She shrugged. I stepped back, letting them peek inside. The house was bare. The couch gone. The table gone. Everything they used like it belonged to them, donated. "You emptied the house," Mom whispered. "Correction," I said, "my house." Kevin clenched his fists. "We lived here for years. Rent-free, contribution-free, respect-free." Mom's face twisted. "We're your family. You're punishing us over one mistake." I laughed once. "One, you stole my trip, used my name, replaced me with Madison because I wasn't fun enough. You didn't just make a mistake, you made a choice." "You're being petty," Madison sneered. "You're mad because we had a better time without you." I stepped outside and shut the door behind me. "You think this is about Japan?" I said quietly. "It's not. It's about every dollar I gave. Every hour I sacrificed. Every time you stayed under my roof and laughed behind my back." "We didn't," Mom began. "You did," I cut in, "all of you. And I'm done." Kevin stared. "So what, we're homeless now?" "No," I said, "you've got 2 weeks. Rent's tripled. Utilities are your problem. Guest suites locked. You want to stay? You pay." "You can't do that," Madison barked. I pulled the lease agreement from my coat pocket. "Actually, I can. It's legal. It's done." "And your credit cards? Declined again this morning." I got the notification. Silence. Thick, heavy, final. I turned to go. Kevin grabbed my arm. His voice broke. "Wait, please. I don't have anywhere to go. Mads thought this trip would bring us closer. She didn't mean to hurt you." Madison opened her mouth, then shut it. Kevin was crying. I looked at him, really looked. And felt nothing. No pity, no anger, just a strange stillness. "You were my brother," I said. "And you traded me for someone entertaining. That's not family. That's a circus." I walked inside, locked the door, left them in the wind. They came back to a new world, one without me. The first day was quiet, too quiet. No yelling, no guilt trips, no texts, just silence. I had breakfast alone. Coffee, a croissant, and a peace I hadn't felt in years. Not the kind you hear. The kind that lives in your bones. By day 4, my phone finally lit up. Can we talk? Mom. I'm sorry. We all made mistakes. Please don't do this to your father. I didn't reply. Not because I had nothing to say, but because I didn't owe them words anymore. The fallout came fast. Cards? Blocked. Madison tried to buy coffee, declined. I got the push alert and smiled. She posted on her story, "Some people are just vindictive." Then deleted it 5 minutes later. Rent? A week after the new lease kicked in. Hi, we're struggling with the new rent. Can we discuss options? No name. Just family account. I ignored it. Jobs? Kevin, who once mocked people with 9 to 5s, was now folding towels at a gym. A friend told me. I didn't flinch. I moved into a downtown loft. Concrete floors, floor-to-ceiling windows. Quiet. No unpaid guests. No freeloading siblings. No missing leftovers or TikToks in my shoes. I woke at 7. Worked. Walked in the evenings. Breathed. And for the first time in years, every dollar, every hour, every breath belonged to me. No texts asking for help. No guilt. Just stillness. 2 weeks later, Kevin texted. I know I messed up. Mads left. She said she didn't sign up for this. I get it now. You were right. I read it twice. Then deleted it. Peace isn't something people give you. It's something you reclaim. And I finally had mine. I stared at the message for a long time. This was the same Kevin who once laughed at my plans, called me uptight, said I didn't know how to have fun. Now he was alone, left by the fun girlfriend, stuck in the wreckage without his human credit card to clean it up. I didn't reply. Then the real blow landed, a letter from a lawyer. Your parents are claiming partial ownership of the house. My attorney broke it down, something about alleged financial contributions. We asked for documentation. So far, they've sent nothing. I laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was so absurd. It didn't deserve more than that. They always believed that if I owned something, they had a claim to it. I remembered what Mom once told me. This is a family home, sweetheart. What's yours is ours. But now, ours means nothing. She sent another message. We didn't raise you to be like this. What would Dad think this time? I answered. You raised me to serve you. That ends now. What surprised me most wasn't their anger. It was how fast they unraveled without me. Kevin was working 10-hour shifts, scraping by. Mom started calling old friends, the same ones she used to mock for having ungrateful kids. Dad, silent, as always. Loyal to neutrality. They were finally living in the world they built, one where I no longer existed to hold it all together. And me? I sat on a new couch, in a new apartment, drinking coffee no one criticized, surrounded by nothing I didn't choose. For the first time, I wasn't being used. I wasn't obligated to show up for people who never showed up for me. And for the first time, I wasn't angry. I was free. Because I was never the problem. I was the solution they drained. And sometimes, silence is louder than screaming. 3 months have passed since I pulled the plug. No more free rides. No more brotherly bailouts. No more pretending that love is the same thing as leverage. I thought I might feel guilt. Or grief. Maybe loneliness. But no, what I feel is stronger. Peace. I wake up without dread. Without waiting for the next ask disguised as affection. The next favor wrapped in obligation. The next guilt trip cloaked in family concern. Now, when my phone buzzes, I don't brace myself. I feel like I stepped out of a fog, and I can finally breathe. Last week, while unpacking, I found an old box. Photos, birthday cards, a folder labeled family stuff. Inside, airline tickets, vacation receipts, hotel confirmations, all under my name. It hit me like a punch in the chest. Every family memory was built on my credit card. They called me cold, but I kept the lights on. I flipped through the photos. There I was, smiling, driving, paying, giving. And the rest? Relaxed, carefree. Passengers in a car they never had to steer. I used to think that made me strong. Now I see it made me invisible. They didn't love me. They loved my usefulness. And when I stopped being useful, they stopped being loving. Kevin hasn't reached out since Madison left. A friend said he's living in a basement apartment now, delivering food. And I didn't feel smug. I didn't feel sad. I felt nothing. Because now, his life is his responsibility, not mine. Madison wiped her socials, deleted old photos, unfollowed the whole family. Turns out, the fun ran out when the free ride ended. Mom sent one last text. "We didn't raise you to be like this, we miss who you used to be." I replied, "You miss the version of me who never said no, he's gone." Dad said nothing. Of course he didn't. Years of watching things collapse from behind his morning paper. Never yelling, never choosing, just watching. It made his complicity quiet but deadly. I stopped waiting for closure. So I gave it to myself. One night, I sat alone, no TV, no distractions. Just me, a glass of wine, and the city lights flickering beyond the windows. For the first time, the quiet didn't feel empty. It felt earned. I scribbled something on a sticky note and stuck it to my mirror. I owe no one more than I owe myself. And every morning, I read it like scripture. Funny, isn't it? The same people who drained me now say I've changed. That I'm distant, cold. They're right. I used to be the bridge they walked on. Now I'm the ocean they can't cross. A few days ago, Kevin's ex, Lisa, messaged me. We'd barely spoken when they were together, but she was always kind, quiet. She wrote, "You were the only one who saw through it. The way they treated you, it was wrong. I'm glad you left. You saved yourself." And it hit me harder than I expected. Because somewhere along the way, I'd started to wonder, maybe I was the problem. Lisa reminded me, I wasn't crazy. I was just the first to wake up. I used to think leaving was selfish. Now I know, it's self-preservation. They taught me that love means sacrifice. But only mine, never theirs. They called me cruel. I call it clarity. They called me heartless. I call it healing. They called me selfish, but only after I stopped being theirs. Next week, I'm flying to Iceland. Solo trip. I've always wanted to see the northern lights. I never went. Because there was always someone else's emergency. Someone else's birthday. Someone else's vacation paid for by me. But not anymore. This time, I'm going for me. And when I'm standing beneath that glowing sky, miles from everything I used to carry, I'll finally say it out loud. I'm not your safety net. I'm not your plan B. I'm not your bank, your backup, or your fool. I am mine. And for the first time in my life, that's enough.